Good afternoon. So welcome to the Autodesk Certified Professional Free Online Workshop. And I'm Samira Salim, Senior Technical Engineer from BEM Labs. So this is a second day workshop. And yesterday you already have a workshop on ACP Autodesk Professional Exam. So today we are going to look what all things that you need to keep in mind before writing an Autodesk ACP exam for Revit architecture. Okay. So first of all, so first of all, the ACP, actually this ACP certification is designed for candidates who have advanced skills and can solve complex challenges in workflow and designs. And actually, this type of experience typically come from having a working experience, or if you know the software very well, at least for 1 year or 2 years, then you can do this exam. And certification at this level, that means professional level, demonstrates a comprehensive skill set that provides an opportunity for individuals to stand out in a competitive job market. And also candidates who obtain the certification will have demonstrated advanced skills in Revit in an architectural environment and will be knowledgeable in a relevant workflows, process, and project objectives. And the it is expected that candidates will already know how to navigate the Revit interface, view and navigate a Revit model, understand the concept of architectural 3D modeling, and creating and modifying basic 3D elements, about annotations, about views like drafting views, detail views. So you must be having the knowledge related to all these things. And also Autodesk is providing some pre-syllabus for you before attending an ICP exam. So you can go through that before writing. And here I am going to show you something, what are things that you need to keep in mind before writing an exam. Here you can say PDF, which is an exam tutorial, Autodesk certified user and Autodesk certified professional exam. Actually, we're having user exams and professional exams. User exams is at the student level and professional exam is somewhat more advantageous, and we are looking in a professional level. Okay. See, for a professional exam, actually you are having a maximum exam time of 1 hour, 60 minutes. Here it is showing for user exam. And the number of exam questions that you're having is 35 questions out of 1000 marks, and you need to score 700 score. Okay, only if you got 700, you will be eligible, or you just pass the exam. Okay, otherwise you can also write exam one time more, or 3 times. You're having a limit of 3 times to write the exam. And some questions are worth than others. Okay, and you need to answer, no need of answering all the questions, but it is recommended that you try to answer. If you can answer all questions, it is better, because if some questions is wrong, we can score the mark with other questions. You need to have a minimum mark of 700 to pass the exam. And the exam timer will not begin until you have finished reviewing the exam instructions. After at the time when you are going to write the exams, they show some instructions. Then after going through all these instructions, only our exam timer will begin. Okay, that's what it is saying. And also, to write an exam, you need to register with an ATC center, Autodesk training authorized training center. Only through them you can write an exam, Autodesk certified exams. And also you need to create an account on Certiport, where you can download the certificates after passing the exam. Okay. So whenever time you are logging into the Certiport account, you will be having those certificate there. If the certificate is having a new appearance, then you can download the new certificates from that. So you have to create a Certiport account with your details. Then only an ATC center can provide through a voucher. Only by putting that voucher, entering that voucher ID, you can start the examinations. Okay. So during the exam, if you are using Revit, if you are doing a Revit architecture exam, you have to open Revit architecture, and you have to switch between Revit architecture and the exam window, so that you can use Alt plus tab command on the keyboard. All other windows should be closed before starting the examinations. or the windows will be switched according to that. So Revit interface should be open, and also the exam window will be open. So you can switch between these windows by using Alt plus Tab command on the keyboard. Then you can move the application window and click on the exam. See, click the portion of the exam window that appears beneath the application window to return the exam questions. Here you can see some sample. See, this table below provides basic information for navigating the exam interface and completing your Autodesk exam. This next button shows to move forward to the next screen, back button to move backward to the previous screen, and there will be a calculator. The button will be available only or once the test begins. And here you can see a review option, and it will allow you to quickly review all questions. And there will be help button for restarting an app. That means if for any reason the application has closed or it is frozen, you may restart it with this button. Okay, the test time will pause while the application is restarting. Then there will be a skip info button. And also once we are going to start the examinations, there will be some default exam data files. Okay, and that exam files need to be downloaded through an ATC sender. And when we are going to write an exam, we have to locate these exam files in the folder local disk C, Autodesk exams, Revit. Not you indicates for user exams, but when we are going to do the professional exam, it indicates P. If it is Revit architecture P like this. So in the local disk C, you can saw an Autodesk exams folder where you can get the exam files. So you have to make sure to use this folder to open the data files. Okay. And here also some things, like here are a few things to keep in mind during the exams. Like after you finish a question, do not save the data file associated with that question. That means when we are starting the exams, there shows one first question. Then they ask for opening some sample files, not sample files. From the Autodesk exam folder, we need to open the specified file. Okay, so when we need to open that particular file, after that we have to do the following steps like what they mentioned. Okay, so after doing that, we'll be getting some answers. So we need to close the file before starting the next question. So at that time, do not save the data file associated with that question. That is what it is mentioning. And you can open the data files, make your changes, and close the data files without saving them. That's it. This way, you are preserving the data files in their original state for when you open the files again or keep the files open for another question. Like then it shows for better computer performance during the exam, you can close the first file, then open the next file, then close the second one, then close the third, open the third one like this. Okay, for better computer performance. Like here you can see some examples like Revit exams require application libraries or families, and this where you can find out these libraries also here it is mentioning, and to refresh for about refreshing the data files. Then it shows like some messages, and see, use the following guidelines to enter your answers for the exam questions. That means at the time while we are answering, what are the things that we need to keep in mind? First of all, answers are not case sensitive. Decimals can be expressed by either periods or commas. So if it is a decimal value, you can enter either periods or commas. And leading or trailing zeros will not affect your score. And it shows a symbol. That means this hash, dot, hash, like some symbols are displayed next to the answer field to indicate the number of decimals the answer should be given in. Okay. So if you are getting an answer, you can go to this one. That means if I am getting 25.351, then we can look onto this. If it is having 3 decimal place, it can be correct answer. Okay. But if you are getting an answer like 153.14, when we are looking onto this, we can understand that is a wrong thing because it indicates other units, right? So you have to look onto this number signs. See, for example, it is showing like hash point hashes unit indicates the answer of 12.34 units. So it can be correct answer. Okay, but if you are getting other units, it can be wrong. And when available, you can use that means if you are getting an answer in Revit after doing the things it is specified, you can use Ctrl+C for correctly copying that value, and you can use Ctrl+V for pasting into the exam window. Okay, that is what it is when available, you can use Ctrl+C to copy calculated or textual values from the software interface. When you use Ctrl+V to paste the values into the exam, verify the pasted value, like it is showing. But you need to verify the pasted value, because if you are, yeah, that's it. Then it shows how to review the questions. The review screen will appear after the last question in the exam. Like some reviewing screen will appear, like which all questions that we answered can be seen like answered. Okay, and we can also mark. That means if you are marking some question that you have to check once more, or if you find some doubts with that, you can mark the questions. Then at the final, after the final question, we can review all these things, which are questions that we marked, which are questions that we answered, which need to answer more, like thing that you can understand. So when you're clicking onto that corresponding one, you can go to the that specified question, and you can once more check the answer, or you can repeatedly do that, or you can enter new answer. Likewise, we can do whatever we can understand from this review screen. Okay. See, marked, this is how questions that are marked will appear in the review screen answer grid. Then answered, this is how the answer questions are marked. Then review marked, review old, review incomplete. After completing the exam, you can click onto the submit button. Okay, and then you can click onto an enter button. Then at the time itself, after 1 or 2 minutes, you can see your score. Okay, how many you got out of 1,000. That you can see. If you are getting less than 700, you cannot pass the exam. Only if you are getting 700 or greater than 700, you can pass the exam. Okay. Then after that, you said after 30 minutes or 15 minutes, you will be getting your Autodesk certified user or professional certificate in the Certiport account. You can log into your Certiport account and you can download your certificate. Then also you will be getting some badge, like Autodesk certified professional, like a badge you will be getting, that you can find it from an Acclaim account. There also you need to create one. In our mail ID itself, a message will comes to create an Acclaim account. Okay, and from the Acclaim account, you will be getting Autodesk certified professional or user badge that you can share directly in your social media accounts like LinkedIn, Facebook, you can Twitter. Okay, you can directly share the badge, and then it shows you are a certified professional or a certified user. That helps you to identify by the competitors or the job providers very easily. It's an added advantage. Okay, so this is about common things that you need to keep in mind before starting a Autodesk or SAP user or professional exams. And here you can see the modules or the syllabus that where you need to focus before writing an exam. Here you can see, first of all, modeling and materials. Okay, I'm just showing these syllabus, and after that we can move on to the software part, and I will just explain some things related to the exam. Okay. Okay, here you can see modeling and materials. First of all, create and modify architectural and site elements. So these are things that you need to know, like how to work with walls and wall types. Somewhat, I can say an example. You can have questions like they be already they're having a lot of data files. When we are taking a first question or whatever question, they'll ask, first of all, they ask to open the data set file that we are having available in the local disk C Autodesk exam folder. So you have to open a specified file. Then they will be, for an example, actually there will be a model by default. So they ask you to go to some specified views. It can be a plan view, an elevational view, or a 3D view, a schedule view, a legend, whatever it is. So which view they are saying, we have to switch on to that particular view. Then they says that in this particular portion, you have to select this particular wall. I'm saying an example for the work with the walls and wall types. Okay, so they says to they ask for you to select one particular wall, so you have to select it. Then they ask that you have to add a finishing material on both sides having a thickness of 15 mm each. Or it can be, I'm saying just an example. So what you have to do is that you have to select the specified wall, then you have to go to the type editor, you have to go to the structure edit, then you have to add those two layers as a finishing, and you have to add the material as what they are saying. Then you have to give a specific thickness. If they sometimes they ask you to include wrap also. So if it is, you have to do that. Then click on OK. Then our final questions will be like this. What is the volume of the specified wall? Okay. When we are changing the type of the wall, obviously the volume or the area, all things also will get changed, right? So the final questions will be like this, which is what is the area of, or what is the volume of this wall? So we have to, after, only if we are doing correct things, that means changing the wall in a particular thickness that they mentioned, we will be getting the correct value. So if we do the correct things, we will be getting the correct value. So you can enter the answer there. Yes, Imran Khan, ask me. What's your doubt?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yes, Rahul, you recently completed what the syllabus? The syllabus that you where the questions comes. Okay, first of all, modeling and materials, and I'll explain you a sample example that can come with the wall types, and also stacked walls, curtain walls. You can see something. You should know about stacked walls, curtain walls. Some modern example is that they will be having a Revit file. They ask for us to open the particular Revit file, and there can be a stacked wall, and also there can be some wall types that created all those things, and they ask for us to open a particular view, and for selecting a particular element, that means a stacked wall, then we already know about how to create a stacked wall, right? So for creating a stacked wall, we need to create some types before with some specified thickness, like our requirement. Then for creating a stacked wall, we need to add these elements in stacked walls to do so. So there in our question, they already set all these types. So what we have to do is that you have to select the stacked wall as they mentioned in the question, and after that they will be asking for you to add some specific type of stacked wall volume will area will it can be changed like this, right? There can be already having a wall material takeoff or a scheduled quantities or whatever, and they will be asked for you to switch to that particular wall material takeoff, and they ask you to find out which is the quantity, or which is the volume of that particular material quantity. So if you are doing this procedure correctly, that means a selection of a then adding of and it should be a stacked wall, and adding that corrected type into that element, into that particular stacked wall, then your wall type will got changed, and also the area, the volume, the count, everything will go changed. So if you're doing this procedure correctly, you will be getting the quantity of the material, right? So this is how you have to do that. You have to know, not only just knowing Revit, like modeling part, architect, doing estimation, but how much precise you know the things. That is what AZP exam means, or where you can qualify AZP exams. Okay. Then come to curtain walls. Curtain walls means we already know how to create a curtain wall for entering curtain grids in between, and providing curtain doors, all these things, right? So they ask us for opening a sample or the specified data file that they provided. So we need to open that. Then they ask for us to select there can be a lot of curtain walls in that model. Okay, the exam file that we opened. So they will be asked for us to go to into a specified portion where we need to select a specified curtain wall. As I mentioned, that we have to select the correct one, otherwise our answer will get wrong. Okay, so we had to select it. Then they say that there can be already a particular material related to the curtain walls, there can be curtain grids, all these things. So they ask us to change the justification of the vertical grid or horizontal grid or some more like that. So we need to change those things. Then they will be asked that select this particular panel and what is the area. Okay, only if we are changing the justification of the curtain wall in the prescribed manner, that means how they ask for us to change it, only if you are selecting like that, and after selecting a particular panel inside that curtain wall, we will be getting the correct area, or otherwise our answer will get wrong. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind. You should know how much precise that you can do all these things. Not only we know how to create curtain walls, we know how to do wall, and we know how to make a stacked wall, but how much precise that you know all these things, that is the matter. Okay. Then that means if we are lagging in any step, that means if in any step, if we do things in a wrong manner, our answer we can get wrong. Okay, whatever things that we are doing, if in any of these steps, if you do wrong thing, our final answer can be get wrong. That's the reason. Okay, then and each and every our decimal points is also having very importance, because our score can change when if we are having a change in our any decimal values, the answer can get wrong. Okay. Then come to the next portion, create and modify floors, roof and ceiling. Same way, somewhat they will be asked for you to open a specified file and go to this reflected ceiling plan. We need to open that particular plan view. Then they will be asked for as to already in the specified question, they will be there. We can see one marked portion. We need to create one particular ceiling corresponding to that. That means how they provided in the question, we need to make accurate ceiling like that we see on the question. So we need to create the ceiling likewise. Then they ask what is the perimeter, or what is the area, or what is the volume. We need to find it out. Only if you are making the boundary in a correct manner as they given, as it is given in the question, then only our answer will be correct. Okay. Same way, floors, roof, questions can be come like this. Okay. Then work with the circulation elements like stairs, ramps, and railings. You know how to create a stair. So the questions can be like this. Open this particular sample file. That means exam file. You have to open it. Then they will ask us to zoom some particular region. We had to zoom into that particular region. We need to start the stair in the correct portion where they ask for us to start the stair. Like we need to set all the things as I said. Like the starting base level should be like this. Top level should be like this. How many rises we need to provide, that should be in a correct manner. The thread depth should be correct, and the stair width should be correct. So all those things they will be provided. So we need to enter each and every details as what they ask in the questions, and we should start the stair in the correct portion as I mentioned in the question. Then after completing the stair, what they're asking is that to dimension the stair from one end of the step to other portion of the wall, like this. Only if we start the stair in a correct manner, or if we have the correct details that we enter to the stair, then only we will be getting the correct dimension. Actually, the question will be like this: what is the dimension value? But we have to do everything related to this for getting the answer in a correct manner. Okay, that is what you need to. Likewise, here you can see railings. So how can we, or how question can come in railing part? Suppose they will be asked for you to choose a particular railing, and to provide some particular offset value, you need to make a railing. Okay, in how or where they ask we to create that particular railing, we need to do like that. After that, the question will be like this: what is the length of the railing? So we need to find out the length of the railing. Only if we do it in a correct manner, we will be getting the final answer. That's it. Then about openings, then working with columns and grids. That means, yeah, I can show you that. Then understand the functions and limitations of model and detail groups using of massing elements. You know how to do massing, right? To create a mass model, to create mass flows. So somewhat they can ask like this: open this mass model, okay, which is given in the exam data set. We have to open the particular mass model. Then they ask for us to create mass flows. You know, if we're having a mass model with some and also some levels, we can create mass flows. We need to just select the mass model. We have to go to the mass flows. We need to select the levels where we need to create the mass flows. So after creation of this mass flows, they will be, the questions can be like this: what is the area of the mass floor in level 5 or in level 10? So we have to select the mass floor in the level 10, and in the properties panel we have to check what is the area. That will be the answer. Okay, so questions can be like this. Then work with the site and topography tools. So already we are having a lot of exam data sets there. We have to open the questionnaire and we need to check what they ask or which file we need to open. So we need to open the specified file. It can be a site related tool, site related exam file, or depending upon the question, the files can be different. So if it is a site related question, you have to open corresponding file. Okay, as they mentioned in the question, then they can the questions can be like this. go to the particular topography in this particular view, create a building pad as mentioned in the question, as drawn in the question. That means in the question itself, we'll be having a particular figure. So what you have to do is that you have to go to the topography view, you have to take the building pad, then you have to make the building pad as same as shown in the figure. Okay, then they also specify what is the depth of, in which level you need to place it, what's the depth of that, what is the material of that, all these things will be provided. At last they ask you to volume or area or whatever it is. Okay. So if while I'm saying which all portions the questions can come, if you need to know how to do this in Revit, you can ask that. Okay. Now I'm saying about the syllabus or the portions that you need to cover before writing an exam. So the next portion from use of selection sets. That means in the, go to the collaborate tab. Here you can see when come to the Revit interface, here you can have a collaborate tab, and where you can how to create work sets and all those things. So when we after enabling the collaboration, that means we know these collaborations enable the team members to work in a model simultaneously. So if whether we know about these portions or not, they also test that. So already they will be having in the sample file they provided, there can be having some default work sets. So in the question, it can be like this. They will be given a picture and it is like something, and they ask us to change the work set and which work set is more suitable to the image that is shown in the question. So only if we know how to use the work sets or how to use of this gray inactive work set. When I'm after having some work sets, we can change the work sets from this active work set window. And if we know which all things that is assigned to the corresponding work set, you have to enable the gray inactive windows. Then the inactive windows will be in a gray color. Only the active windows or the active work sets we can see in a black color. So if we need to know, if we know how to do this, we can answer the question. Okay, that's it. Then how to create and modify rooms and areas. That means come to the annotation portion. We already know how to do room tags, door tags, window tags, all these things, right? So there can be having sample files already included some room tags with areas or something like that. They will be asked us to change the wall to some particular portion or somewhat like that. And if we are changing something, the area can be changed. So they will be asked us to, what is the area? What is the area of this particular room? Then if you are doing it in a correct manner, we will be getting the correct area or the answer will get drawn. That's it. Then also about colorful legend. If you're having a room or an area, we can do the colorful legend, right? We can mark our rooms or areas in a legend type color manner. So go to the annotate tab. Here you can see colorful legend. So you have to place room tags. Then after placing a colorful legend, or you can have a default room tags in the file that you're opening. You have to place the colorful legend. Then they will be asked which is a suitable color that you can see when come to the interface. That means you have to compare with the exam data and the Revit file, and you have to do as what they say, and we have to place a colorful legend and which color match for this particular region. It can be a hall, it can be a kitchen, or it can be a furniture. So which color is matching for this particular, or what it is showing in the interface for this cafeteria portion. So we need, after placing the colorful legend, we will be getting a color for this particular area, right? So you have to go to the exam window and you have to mark that color which is suitable with the Revit file. So only if we know how to do colorful legend and how to place it, then only we can get the answer, right? Then editing building elements. For example, see here you can see many doors are over here. I'm selecting this one. So they will be asking for you to open a particular file and go to the okay, and they will be asked for you to select a particular door, and they will be given with some specified number. Select the door with 124 number like this. So you have to go and open the select the door, and they will be asked for you to change the distance from the hinge point to the wall. Here you can see if you need to make a dimension, go to the annotate tab, choose aligned dimension, and you can make dimensions like this. So it can be like this. Select the door and change the distance from hinge to the finish of the wall to 100. So you need to change it like this. Then the questions can be like, what is the distance from what is the distance from the side of like this side of to the door to the end to the other end of the wall. So you have to make a dimension like this, and you have to locate the dimension, and you have to enter the value there in the exam window. Also, the questions can be related to grids. The questions can be like this. You have to open some specified file. You have to go to the annotate tab, and you have to make a dimension between grid 1 or 1.1 and 2 and make it equal. The question can be like this. Here you can see now the grids is not equal. It shows 1 and 1.1 and 2, and the distance between these grid is not equal. We can understand from the view itself. So you have to make a dimension. You have to select a dimension. You have to make dimensions from 1 to 1.1 to 2. And how can we make these dimensions equal? You know that. You have to click on to the EQ symbol, right? So when I'm selecting this EQ symbol, see now the distance between these grids will be equal. So questions can be like this. What is the dimension value now? So here it shows only EQ, right? But we cannot see which is the dimension value. So you have to select the dimension. You have to go to the properties palette. You have to change the equality display from equality text to value. Then only you will be getting the answer. Now I can see now the value is 4978. So this will be the answer. You have to enter this value into the exam window, corresponding question. Okay, that's it. Then what? Okay, related to the levels, go to an elevational view. Like question can be like this. Go to an elevational view. Select or which is an elevational value for the parapet level. So you have to select it, and here we can see the elevation. Some questions can be very simple, and some questions can be complicated. Okay, this type of questions is very simple. Out of actually you will be having a total of 35 questions, and total score will be 1000. You have to score 700. Okay, so we can see the parapet level is having an elevational value of 12,000. You have to enter this as an answer. Somewhat they may be asked you to change. That means change the elevation base point of the parapet level from project base point to survey point. Somewhat the question can be like this. So when I'm changing the project base point into survey point, somewhat the elevational value can get differ according to the survey point that we given. Here it is not, because the survey point and project base point is the same. But if it is different, and when we are changing the project base point to survey point, this value can be differ. So at that time, this is not the correct answer. Okay, you have to change the what it is displayed when you are changing the base point from project base point to survey point. That will be the answer. So you have to change the correct procedure, and you have to enter the answer. That's it. And I already said you about some curtain wall type. I can show you that. You have to select the curtain wall. See, it can be, see, in this particular building itself, there is a lot of curtain walls. So you have to correctly locate the portion where they ask you to find or to do the changes for the specified curtain wall. So you have to select the correct one. Then here we can see vertical grid and horizontal grid justification. Now it shows beginning justification, and also for the vertical grid, it is having an offset of 1000, but they will be asked us to change the justification either to the vertical grid or to the horizontal grid, or maybe both. Okay, so after changing this, they'll be asked you to select a particular panel. So how to select that? You can move the cursor into the particular window, use a tab icon. Then when I'm again and again when I'm selecting tab, the selections can get differ like this. So now I'm getting this curtain panel. Then go to the properties palette. Here you can see its area, width and height. The question can be like this: what is the area of the panel? So you have to look in, select the panel, then go to the properties where you can see the correct value. So only after changing that in a correct manner, you will be getting the correct answer. That's it. Okay, then what? Also, something related to mark, right? It can questions can be like this also. That means go to this particular view and select the corresponding element as I mentioned, and what is the mark property of that. So how to find out the mark property? We know that already for every element we are having, not for most of the elements we are having mark properties by default. In the properties panel we can see that, which is an instant property. So when I'm selecting this door, I can see the mark property as 121. So you can enter the answer like this: the mark property of this is 121. So that will be the answer. And somewhat it can be like they can be somewhat they will be they hide the elements that where we need to find out the mark values. So how can we find out the invisible elements? You can go to this portion, right? Reveal hidden elements. So if it is hidden, we can go to this reveal hidden elements, and the hidden elements can be seen in a red color. See, many elements are hidden over here. So the question can be like this: what is the mark property of the hidden elements? And name can be given like array group 3 for an example. Okay, so what's the mark property of this? So here I cannot see that because it is an array element. Only if it is a single object I can see and come to this. See, when come to this particular column, this is hidden, right? So go to a particular column, and what is the mark property of that, which is hidden. So we have to click onto the reveal hidden elements. Then the elements can be seen. Hidden elements can be seen in a red color. We have to select it. Then go to the properties where we can see its mark value. We have to enter what it is showing on the properties into the exam window as answer. Okay, that's it. Then for creation of railing or stairs, come to the architecture tab. Here you can see circulation panel, railing, ramps, stairs. So we know there are different types, or there are different methods for creating different stairs. So when I'm selecting stair tool, here you can see straight stair, spiral stair, like full step spiral, center and spiral, L shape, U shape, create by sketch, etc. So the question will be like this: go to the straight stair. You have to change the base level to, like, there can be different levels on a particular project, right? So they will be asked us to change the base level into this particular one, and the top level should be like this. So we have to change it correct manner as specified in the question. So we have to change the base level, top level. Somewhat we need to change the desired number of risers, the actual thread depth. Then they will be asked for you to go to the type editor and change the minimum run width. So what are things they are mentioning, we have to change all things like that. But the question can be like this: start the stair from grid 2, this intersection. Okay, so we have to start the, and also the location line can be like this, left or right, whatever we need to do. We have, and in a flight there can be this number of rises, and the next flight. So how they mention, we have to create the stair, and after that the question can be like this: what is the distance between from this end of the stair to this end? This an example I'm saying. The questions can be like this. Okay, so we have to find it out. So only if we start the stair from the correct location, we'll be getting the answer, right? So, or like can be like this: what is the distance between these two? Okay, so we have to find it out. And come to the railing part, we have to go to the architecture tab again. They ask you to choose a railing by sketch path, and they also give some specified type. Here you can see some types like 900 mm pipe, 900 mm, 900 mm pipe, wall mounted. So you have to choose a specified one. Then they will ask you to make an offset, and instead of choosing, if we are asking you to make an offset for creating a line, better you can use pick line tools. Okay, if you are choosing line tool, there can be having chances of having it is somewhat more. So you can choose pick lines for accurately locating the correct portion, and we can provide the offset value. You can make the railing as I mentioned, and also you have to keep the same length. Same length means you have to start from the correct portion like they mentioned. Okay, so you, after creating that means after making the correct length for the railing, you will be getting the total length. So see, I just complete like this. I'm going to finish this one. So here you can see in the properties part, what is the total length of the railing. So that can be seen from the properties. So this will be the answer for that particular question. Okay. Then come to a particular stacked wall. Already said that. So stacked wall, we know that we need to create the types before, then come to the structure where we need to add those types with the height, right? In the particular question, they already have a stacked wall. We need to select that one and we need to add the new type as a specified, also with the given height. Then what will be the amount of concrete in the particular stacked wall? Go to the wall material takeoff and find it out. Like that, the question will be like that. So you have to do the correct thing and go to the wall material takeoff. So in that, by looking onto the particular material, you can find the total amount. Okay. Also, the schedule, in the schedule part there will be a lot of questions. So like 2 or 3 questions will be there in the schedule part itself. So go to you should know about these things, how to create a schedule. Or if you do not know how to create a schedule, you should know about, you should know how to create a schedule also about these things, how to filter the schedule data, how to sort the data, how to make a grand totals, how to format these informations. So everything related to schedule you should know. Then only you are able to do the things like what is in the question. Okay. The question can be like this. Somewhat there can be a default dose schedule. You need no need of creating that, but the thing is that you have to find out the total count of dose in ground floor, or the dose in a what living room area. So like this questions can come. So what you have to do is that you have to do the filtering, sorting everything, and making the total value for count. Then only you will be getting the answer. So you should know all things related to the schedules itself. Okay. So in schedules, you should know about the family editor. We already know how to create a new family. Also about the families, we know there are 3 types of families in Revit, which is loadable families, system families, and in place families, right? And what's the difference between these things that you should know? Because sometimes the questions can be directly like a fill up question, or only in a professional exams only there are 1 or 2 or 3 questions in that manner, but in user exams you can find out more questions like this. But in professional exams, more questions are related to practical things that we need to do it. Only some 2 or 3 questions will be like this, or 1 or 2 questions will be like this. So it can be like this. Which is a family where, or the dash family where we load elements from other locations. It can be like this. So what is the answer? It is loadable families, because we know that there are 3 types of families in Revit, like loadable families, system families, and in-place families. And what is the difference between these 3? So come to the architecture tab. Here we can see a lot of elements in the architecture tab, divided into some panels: build panel, circulation panel. So in build panel, we can see elements which is related to building, like walls, doors, windows, columns, components, etc. So this wall is an example for system family, because we cannot load it from any other location. But what we are doing is that we are creating it directly from here itself, right? When I'm selecting a wall architectural option, what you can do is that you can go with a specified or a particular type. Then you can go to the type editor, where we can go to the structure edit. You can go to the structure edit. Then you can add layers, you can add thickness, you can give out material. So these things can be done. So how many like system families we need to have? We are going to create like this, right? There is no family template for creating a system family. We need to create directly from the project interface itself. But we are having options like transferring project standards. Like if we need to transfer the system family that you created in one particular project into another one, we are having options for that. Like go to the manage tab, I think. Let's come to the manage tab. Here you can see transfer project standards, which copy selected project settings from another open project to the current project. So you have to open those 2 projects. Then you have to select the copy from which file you need to copy, and what all things that you need to copy. Where we are able to copy wall types, roof types, floor types, then dimension styles, text style. So here you can see different areas. See, so we can copy these all things from an already existing file into another open project. Okay, so we are having option for copy or transfer project standards, but actually we do not have any family templates or any other thing for creating a system family, right? So that is not actually not a loadable family. System family is different from loadable family. So what is a loadable family? We know loadable families like doors, windows, furnitures, all these things are loadable families. Why? Because we know we can create it with separate family templates. For creation of a door, we are having metric door.rft template. For creation of a window, we are having metric window.rft template. For creation of a column, we are having. So when we are checking, like, go to the file tab, where you can see new family, where we'll be getting, where we are having by default at the time when we are installing the software itself, we will be getting a lot of family templates. So depending upon our requirement, we can choose the corresponding family template for creating one, right? For creating a furniture, we can go to metric furniture.rft, and when we are saving this, it will be a .rfa file, right? So what we can do is that we can create these families in a separate manner, and we can load these families into any project. And also this is transferable. We can send these files into some other persons. They can also use that. We can upload this in some specified site. They can download it and they can use it. And also we are having some specific websites like Revit City, BIM Object, from where we are able to download the loadable families that is created by anyone, and we can use it, right? So these are loadable families. We can load it into any projects. Okay, multiple projects. So we can also save it into separate files. Okay, that is loadable families. And what about in place families? In place families is unique for every project. Here you can see, come to the architecture tab. When I'm selecting model in place option, here you are having specific categories. That means without going into a specific template, a family template like door, window, you can directly create it from the project, from the current project that you are working in. Okay, no need of creating it into a family template, only if it is unique for the current project. That means if you do not want this one into any other projects, you can directly create it directly from the project view itself by using in place families, and it will be unique. You cannot copy it from one project to another, and it will be unique for this project only. You can use it for this project only. That's the reason. We can include this in schedules, and we can make shared parameters. We can create the everything is parameters. Everything is can be done, but the difference is that it will be unique for the project that we are doing. That's it. So these are the three different types of families, which is loadable families, in place families, and system families. Okay, right. So you should know these basic things. What is family? What are the different types of families? What is the difference between these families? Only if you know this, you are able to answer the questions. Like, we do not know how the questions like in a correct in that manner, but you should know all these things. Then only you can answer that. Okay. Then the next part. Yeah, come to the room and area panel. Here you should know for changing about this area and volume computations. It can be from at wall finish from the wall center. So how would you like to do the room area computation? If you like to have the area from the wall center, you should change it to wall center. Somewhat it can be like this. Choose this particular room and find out the room area with the wall center, like this a question can be. So at that time, what you have to do, if we are directly looking onto that and marking the answer, it can be wrong. So you have to, if it is with the wall center, you have to change the room area computation from the wall finish to the wall center. Then only you will be getting the correct answer. That the area can be changed when you are changing these things. Okay. Then come to the annotate tab. Yeah. So here you can see some dimension things like align dimension, angular dimension, radial diameter, arc length, the spot elevation, spot coordinate. So somewhat the question can be like this. Go to open this particular file. You have to open that. Then they will ask for you to find out the spot elevation of a particular corner of a particular roof. Okay. So when I am choosing an elevational view, here there is no sloped some elements. So I am not able to show it, but I can, for example, yeah, I am choosing the south elevation. Suppose if there is a sloped roof and they mark one point in the question and they ask us to Mark a spot elevation of there, and what is the elevational value? Question can be like this. So you have to go to the annotate tab, you have to choose a spot elevation, you have to mark like this, not the elevation. Yeah, if you need to find out the spot elevation, you can use the spot elevation one, or if you need to know the spot slope, you have to go to the spot slope option. If there is a sloped item, we are able to get the slope there. Here it is showing no slope because it is a horizontal item, which is having no slope. That is why it shows no slope. But if it is a slanted item or inclined item, then we can have a value. Okay. Thus, you have to enter that particular value into the exam data, for exam window answer. So like here you can see spot coordinate. So from this portion also questions can come. Then the very important portion, detail components. So we know how to create a drafting group. 1 minute, please. Okay, so you can continue. Yeah, come to the detail panel. Here you can see detail lines, region, revision cloud, detail groups, insulation like this. The question can be like this. Open this particular file, make a field region in this specified, like how it is showing the figure. So we need to make a field region. As I said, that means it can be like this. Go to choose a field region and make a field region with a specified dimension or with a given dimension. And also they will be asked for us to choose the corresponding field region. Or as they mentioned in the question, it can be a concrete field region or it can be a masonry type, whatever it is. So we need to make the field region as how they are giving the dimensions. So we have to do that. After that, we have to finish the field region. Then the question can be like this: what is the area? See here we can say after completing a field region, we can have an area like 0.960 meters square. So we need to, that can be the answer. Okay, we need to enter the area of the corresponding field region. So like this question can come. Then here you can see component option. So we need to open some specified file. They will be asked for us to make a repeating component or a detail component or whatever, or a legend component. So if it is a repeating detail component, they already mentioned what to place there. Here we can see brick and concrete block. So I need to, so the question can be like this: place a brick repeating detail component from this portion to this portion. Suppose I am going to make a repeating detailing component from this portion, like up to this, how they mentioned. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm just showing an example. How many bricks are here when you place after this? So here I can see now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 numbers of bricks are here, right? So that will be the answer. So if you start, the starting point and the ending point is correct, then only our answer will get correct. Okay, otherwise it will get wrong. Like this, an exam can, question can be there. Then about tagging, you should know about all these things, like how to make a tagging, like tag all. We know door tags, window tags. So you should know about these things. And also family editor. Okay, if you are going into a plan view, we can have a lot of families. If there it is. Here we cannot see anything. Yeah, furniture. No. Okay. If it is a family, the question can be like this: select this particular element, go to the family editor, where we need to go to the family editor. And you should know also related to the family creation, family editing, family parameters. And if it is a furniture type or a TV stand or a cupboard, whatever it is, the question can be like this: what is a family type parameter of this handle? So how to find it out? We have to select the particular element as I mentioned in the question, then go to the family types or this material and finishes. We can see its material. If they ask us to find the material, we have to do this, or otherwise you had to go to the family type, where we can see all the family parameters which is created related to the family. So where we can see all the related parameters. So we have to look which parameter is that the question. Okay, so if it is a handle, or if it is a leg of a table, whatever it is, we should find what is the corresponding family type parameter name of the of that element. So we have to find it out only after going into a family editor window. So you have to select the family, you have to come to the family editor, you have to look onto the family types and the family parameter names, and you have to find the answer and just enter it on the exam data, exam window. Okay. And if it is a text type answer, the better what you can do is that you have to, there we can see you have to select the item like this, and you have to use Control C on the keyboard for making a copy. Then you have to open the exam window where you have to click onto the portion where you need to enter the answer. Then you can use Control V for pasting the value. Okay, that is somewhat better for you if it is a because if any one of the letter goes missing, the answer can get wrong. Okay, so you have to correctly, you have to mention the correct values and correct text. Okay. Then come to the annotate tab. Okay. Also, you know how to make keynotes, colorful legends. I already said you about that. Then massing and site. Oh yeah, this is also very important when we are coming into a site type or a topography related question where it is. Also, you should know about these massing related materials, how to create a mass element, how to create a mass floor. Okay. Only after that you are able to create mass flows. Then for finding out its area, everything you have to just select it, and in the properties panel you will be getting the area. Also, you should know about this building pad, how to use this building pad to form a how to create a building pad in a topo surface. You should know related to these things at the time when we are going to create a building pad, where you can see, you can specify the level, you can specify the height offset from the level. Then when go to the type editor, here you can see you can provide the material for the building pad also with the specified thickness. So after doing everything as specified in the question, you will be getting a correct answer related. It can be related to an area or volume, whatever it is. Okay. So you should find it out. Also, these things. Then you should know about this collaborate tab, how to collaborate, how to make work sets, how to use this grain active work sets, related these things. And come to this portion, that means the coordinate portion, which is project management, like management things in Revit. You should know everything related to this collaborate portion and the insert option, how to link a Revit file, how to import a CAD file. Related to these things also you should know. Okay, so come to the collaborate tab. Here you can see coordinate panel. We know for what we are using this coordination. If we are going to create a structural model, we should be having an architectural reference. Or if you are going to create an MEP model, you should be having an architectural reference. So what we are going to do is that we are going to link this Revit file into what they're going to link this Revit architectural file into corresponding structural template or MEP template, where we start modeling those things. Right. So at the time when we are trying to import or at the time when we are linking a Revit file, there can be different duplications, like levels. We need to make a repeat. Same levels can be repeated. Same grids can be repeated. Same columns can be repeated. So there can be repetition. So how can we avoid these repetitions, or how can we use Copy Monitor for doing multidisciplinary coordination? I think in our BIM modules, we already include this multidisciplinary coordination. So if you studied this one in BIM labs, you already know about all these things, right? Okay, so select this Copy Monitor option. So suppose I'm showing an example. If you have to link an architectural file into a structural template, we know the levels can be similar, right? Same levels I need to create in where structural file to same grids I need to create. So without creating this, how can we make copies? Where we can use Copy Monitor. Okay, you have to select Copy Monitor. You have to select link option, where you have to choose the link that you inserted into the current file. You have to select the link. Here I cannot do it because there is no link in this particular file. After that, there is option for copying. I can show you that. Okay. Suppose I'm choosing a structural template now. See, this is a pure fresh template, only two default elevation I can see, level 1 and level 2. I need to insert or I need to link a Revit architectural file into this for creating a structural model. Okay, if it is like that, how can we do that? First of all, you need to link the Revit file. So go to the insert tab, click onto the link Revit option, you have to choose the file. So I am selecting I'm choosing one file, an architectural model for linking. Okay. Here you can see, so there will be a lot of things related to its visibility, graphics, all those things. Okay, you can go to the visibility, because since it is a structural template, your most of the architectural elements got hidden as the default setting on the visibility settings. So you have to see, that is why we are first at the first time we are choosing the correct template, which is the first step before starting the modeling. If you are going to create an architectural model, you have to choose the correct corresponding architectural template. If you are going to create a structural model, you have to choose the correct structural template. That is what we need to do, which is the first step for steering your project in the correct direction. All right. So here you can see model categories, which is a visibility settings of the structural items. So also here you can see Revit links, where we can have the inserted link, which is architectural model.rvt. So if you need to change the display settings after linked file, you have to go to the by host view, where you can see there also we can have model categories, annotation categories, etc., etc. So you have to go to the custom option where you can change the visibility settings. So you have to change the model categories to custom, you have to change the annotation categories to custom. So you can do all these things, and what you can do is that we have to change the visibility settings. So you can change the columns are hidden over here, doors are hidden over here. So you have to change these things. Okay, then only that will be getting that will be having the correct visibility. Also, you have to change in this portion too, whether it is hidden it off or not. Then you have to apply and click on OK, so that portions can get a visibility. Also, if you come to the properties panel here, you can see the discipline out is structural. If I'm changing that into an architectural option, then also we can have the architectural, or you can change that into coordination. Then also we can have the elements. We can have a view. Okay, that's it. So okay. So now here you can see already I'm having some many columns. Already I'm having some levels. So no need of repeatingly doing this. If I'm having an option for copying this, it will be better, right? So go to the collaborate tab. Here you can see copy monitor. Now you can go with the select a link option. There you have to select the link. Then you can see copy options, monitor, etc. So if you want to copy anything, you have to click onto the copy option. If you need to copy multiple things, you can check this multiple option. So if which all levels that you need to take copy, you have to choose that. Okay. If you need to make a copy of plinth level, you can select it. If you need to make a copy of FFT, you can hold control on the keyboard and choose FFT. If the multiple is not on, you are not able to select multiple ones. Okay. Also, you can use the track button for selecting all these things. Then if you are finishing that, sorry, one more time, use the select link, go to copy, multiple. I'm selecting these levels, and first of all, you have to click onto the finish button on the bottom portion. Okay. See, these items are getting copied. Then again, come to this portion and click onto the main finisher button. Now I am able to select these things without the selection of the link. See, this is a single selection for the entire elements in the link, but now I get these copies like TFT levels, all these things. I just make copy from the link that I'm having. So if you need to make these levels into the main portion, you can go to the view tab, click onto the plan views, where you will be getting those copied levels. Right. So you are able to select all those levels. Then click on OK. Then you can get those on the plan views. See, floor plans or structural views, whatever. So that's it. Same way. See here, I can see there are many columns over here. But these are purely architectural columns, not structural columns. But I know its size. Or if you go to click onto the tab button, you can select the type. Now you can see the rectangular column, which names as C2, and it is having a size of 20 by 20. So I know there are, but I am not able to change it because it is from the architectural link, right? But this is purely architectural column. But when come to a structural modeling part, I need to convert this architectural columns into structural part. Then only I am able to provide reinforcements or detailing part there. If it is an architectural column, I am not able to provide detailing there. Okay. So I need these architectural column, but without creating that, how to make copies of these architectural columns, not only making copies, but also I need to replace the architectural columns into structural ones. So there also you can use the collaborate tab. First of all, what you had to do is that you had to create a structural column with the same size. So go to the structure tab, click onto the column option where you can see concrete columns, universal I section columns. So you had to choose one, go to the type editor. We know how to create it, right? So you had to duplicate that, give out a specific name, click on OK, then give out a specific, that means correct breadth and height, which is an mm. That is why I'm giving 200 by 200. Okay. So I just created the one I required. Actually, not only a single column, but there is multiple sized columns. But for example, I'm showing this. Then what you had to do, come to the collaborate tab. Here again, you can use copy monitor and select link. I'm selecting the link, and instead of directly copying that, you can go to the options. This is why, because I'm saying this is that this is also a part in ACP exams. Okay. That means changing these or replacing the items. So you have to click onto the options where you can see levels, grid. We can make copies and we can replace levels, grids, columns, walls, and floors. Here I need to change columns, so you have to go to the columns. Here I can understand this is the original type which I'm having in the link, and how I would like to replace this one into new type. So I already created a new type, so I can replace this into that new type that I created is C. Say selected the new type and comparing to the original type. Then click on OK. You have to click onto the copy icon. Now click onto the multiple option. You have to select the enter model. You are able to filter it. Okay. Select the filter option. Click on check none and click on columns and apply. Okay. Now all the columns got selected. Now you can click onto the finish button. If there is multiple sized columns, you have to choose what are things that you need to corresponding to the original type, what to change, what is a new type that you should provide. Okay, and only do this step. Then you have to finish the main icon. Now we are able to have these selections. Let's see. I'm having structural columns. This is concrete C. That means without creating each and every one of this, I'm able to get all these things by replacing the architectural columns into structural ones, and also I'm able to copy that, right, in a single step. So this is how much our work can get easy. Here we are able to get all this. Actually, this is only C type column. This is not C type. That is why. And when come to the collaborate copy monitor option, here you can see this column is actually 475 by 610, right? But now it get replaced with UC. That means I section column. How it happens, because when come to the copy monitor and selecting link, so you can see, go to the options, columns here corresponding to 475 by 610. The new type which is set over here is UC or universal columns. That is why our columns got replaced with I section columns. Actually, you need to, corresponding to the original type, you need to set the new type. Then only every one of those will get correctly changed. Actually, this one is only the correct one that I changed. That is why here you can see the correct columns, which is 20 by 20 size in the replacement of a C2 columns, architectural C2 columns. Okay. So this is how we can do that copy monitoring option. So this is another portion where you can expect questions from ACP exam. Then how to, you know, how to create sections and callouts. This you should know how to create sectional views. Not only for doing sectional views, after making the sectional views, you have to go to the particular view, then you have to do the things that they are mentioning in the question in the corresponding section view. So before that, you need to know how to create a section, right? How to create callouts, how to create sheet views, how to make schedules, about drafting views. So everything you should know about legends. See, how to create a legend. This also you should know how to create a legend. To provide a scale value for the legend, click on OK. Here you can have a blank interface. Now, if you need to place a legend component, how we can do that? Go to Annotate tab. Here you can see component, legend component. Every families in this particular project can be seen. So the question can be like this: place the plan and elevation of this door, and this door, or this furniture, or this furniture, like this. So what you have to do? You have to select for the one that which is mentioned on the question. Suppose if it is a window of size, there's no door. Yeah, here you can see some doors. So like question can be like this: place the plan and elevation of M door opening 0762. There can be a name like D1, D2, or something like that. Question can be like this: place the plan and elevation of doors D1, D2, and D3, or furniture or chairs C1, C2, and C3. Question can be like this. So you have to do the things. And I'm placing the plan of the door. Now I need to have an elevation. So I'm placing an elevation of the door. Actually, this is not correct one. You can go with, okay, the plan of the other one, the elevation of the other one. So you should place like this. After the question can be like this, which is the elevation of the chair C2, chair C2. So only after having a legend view and placing the legend components, you should have a elevational view of the thing that is mentioned in the question, and you have to look onto this view. Okay, it looks like this. Actually, these three looks like the same manner, but it can be different. Okay, so you should know, yeah, it looks like this. Then what you have to do is that you have to go to the where you have to go to the question exam window, where you can see the similar one. You have to mark it in the question itself. That will be the answer. Okay, so you should know how to create these legend views. Then you know how to create sheets, right? How to create a sheet, how to place drawings in the sheet, all these things, how to make revisions or sheet issues or revisions. Also here you can see some gate grids. So if you are going to create a sheet view, the question can be like this. Question can be from this gate grid. See, question, make a gate grid on the particular sheet A001. Question can be, so you had to place a gate grid. Division for your sheet. Okay. Then they mentioned that the spacing of the gate grid should be like this. If it is 100, you have to provide the gate grid distance into 100 like this. Then there can be already some default placed sheet views. The question can be like this, like move this view move this plan view to the intersection of this grid or something like that. So you have to enter the view which is placed in the sheet into the corresponding intersection of the gate grid they mentioned in the question. And the question can be, what is the distance between this portion to this portion? Okay, so you have to do the correct procedure for getting the correct answer. Okay, that's it. About materials, I already said you about some material questions can be there related to the material property. So you have to go to you have to find out which material is that. Then you have to go to the material browser. You have to select the corresponding material. You have to check onto the material properties, which can be in the appearance tab or in the graphics tab or in the thermal tab or whatever it is. First of all, you have to locate the correct correct material. Then come to the graphics or appearance or whatever it is. Here you can see image fade. Somewhat it can be transparency value too. Question can be which is a transparency value. So we have to check it from here. What is that particular value? You have to find it out and then you have to enter the answer. Okay. So from the material 2, there can be questions. Then related to phases, yeah, this is also important. How to okay, how to make your building elements into different phases. Question can be mark your building elements into the corresponding phase. Make a schedule from that question. In any portion question can be like this, but these are the different important portion that you have to keep in mind for before attending an ICP exam. Also, this one is also very important, review warnings. See, one example I can show you that. First of all, they ask you to open the review warnings. Review warnings where if there is any errors that we do at the time of modeling or any time, that warnings can be seen from this window. Review warnings on the inquiry panel from the manage tab. Okay. See if there is a wall overlap. Suppose if there is a wall overlap, you can have a warning like wall overlap. How many overlaps are there? Like this, we will be getting warning 1, warning 2, warning 3, 4, 5, like that. So if you want to review the warnings, you have to select it, and that particular corresponding portion will be highlighted. For example, I can show you that. See. And this is a blank, right? So when come to the manage tab in the inquiry panel, now it is inactive because no warning still. So I'm selecting this wall architectural option, and I'm making a wall from level 1 to level 2. The default type 200 mm, and I'm again making another wall like this. Or again, I'm selecting this wall architectural option. So now there is a wall overlap, right? Highlighted walls overlap. Some warning message shows. If we are ignoring that, that will goes, and again we repeat the drawings or modeling part. So when after that, when go to the manage tab and choosing the inquiry panel, here you can see that now goes highlighted. So I can review the warnings so that you have to select it. Then click on the highlighted walls overlap. When I'm expanding this, here you can see there is one warning 1. The question can be like this, which is the element ID of the overlapping wall. Okay, it can be like, so how can we find it out? Only from when you can go to the review warnings, selecting this one. These are the two different walls which is highlighted. So the first one, the ID also showing for the corresponding element, and I'm selecting that is highlighted on the model, right? See, this is a 3D model. Go to the inquiry panel, and I'm selecting the warning 1. Here it is, it shows, see which wall makes the overlap, that you can see. After selecting this, if I'm selecting delete, check those two overlapping elements goes delete on with the cross one and the other one. Those two got changed. Only now it is having only a single wall. Now overlap is there, right? So this is how you can find out the overlapping, not only between walls, but it can be between any other elements, walls and doors and stairs. So whatever make high overlapping, it can be reviewed from the inquiry panel from the review warnings option. So question can be like this. In the warning 1, what is the element ID of the timber wall that makes overlapping? So we have to locate it. We have to find the element ID, and that should be copied and pasted to the exam data window. Okay. So this can be a question. Then, yes, from these all portions you need to keep in mind for before writing an ICP exam. Okay. See, these are the area modeling and material. Work with walls and wall types. Create and modify floors, roofs, and ceilings. Work with the circulation elements like stairs, ramps, and railings. Cut openings in building elements. Work with columns. Then using of massing elements. Work with the site and topography tools. Use and modify element materials. Use selection sets. Create and modify rooms and areas. Also related to area, like you know how to create an area plan, right? For that, see, for having a plan view, for creating an area plan, what you will do, go to the architecture tab. Here you can see area. You have to choose area plan. You have to choose into which level you need to find the area. Then you have to click onto the OK button. Then you have to create boundary. Okay, the question can be like this: create an area plan of the ground floor like this. So you have to choose the area plan of a ground floor. Then how the question shows in the exam window, you have to draw the boundary like that. After that, You have to make a tag to find out the area. Then you will be getting an area. Right? That will be the answer. Okay. So you have to do like that. Then differentiate between various types of families. Then use of family parameters, creation of family content, documentation, annotation of the views, using of dimensions. Many questions is related to dimensions. Okay, not fully related to dimensions, but at the initial stage, at the final stage, we have to do the dimension to get the answer. Okay, then create and modify annotation families for documentation. Use a match line. Also, you know how to create a match line. See, come to the view tab. Here you can see an option for creating match lines. Okay, and we know match line is for indication of a splitting of a view. If a match line is indicated in a specific sheet, from where we can understand there is a continuation of this view. Okay, that is the purpose of a match line. So you should know how to create a match line. From that, questions can be there. Then create and use detail components, load and create a detail component family, adding of a detail component, define a repeating detail. I already show you these things. Demonstrate an understanding of phases and design options. Also, there is a design options. I think you know all these things. And how to use document revisions about revision issues, or so you configure and export and print settings, work with color schemes like color fill, legend, those things about views, applying advanced view techniques like browser organization, view properties, visibility graphics overrides, so call out views, setting up of a sheet, sharing display, duplicating views. You should know about duplicating views too. Okay, manage, create, and modifying schedules that you should know. For manipulating schedule data that you should know. About project management like link or importing files, defining work sharing concepts, using of levels and grids, transferring project standards and establishing shared coordinates, edit objective styles, conduct maintenance on a Revit project, understand shared project and global parameters. Almost every portions is covered in this, so you should know about every. So you should know these things before starting an Autodesk ACP exams. Okay, if you know, if you have knowledge in these areas, yes, of course you can do, or you can be an Autodesk certified professional in Revit architecture. Okay. So if you're having any doubts now, you can ask me.